Um, Bear with me. I was raised in church. I was raised knowing the power of God. When I was 22 years old, my daddy passed away. And my world crashed down around me. I got mad at the world. I got mad at God. I couldn't understand why this person I needed so much was taken from me. I lost all my faith. I turned my back on God. I quickly turned to drugs and alcohol to ease my pain, to numb any emotion, to just make me forget everything. And I quickly became addicted before I even knew. It was a long time before I knew that. But I turned my back on God and I ran as far as I could the other way. But I'm here today to say that God never turned his back on me. Throughout my addiction, he had his hand on my life. In 2006, about 4 years into my addiction, I learned I was pregnant with my beautiful daughter that was just here not long ago. And with all good intentions, I was going to get clean. I was going to change my life, but I didn't. The drugs were more important than anything and anybody. But God kept his hand on that baby. After never going to the doctor on Christmas Day of 2006, I was given a gift of a perfectly healthy, full-term baby. And I told God if he would just let me keep her, I would change my life. I didn't. After I had her, I went home. I got high again. I started shooting up. I became involved in the process of manufacturing meth. I became involved in selling it. I destroyed people's lives. I took parents away from their children. All the while, God had his hand on me. I could be in prison. I could be dead. I could be disease-ridden, but I'm none of those. After my daughter was a little over a year old, I had to give her up. I couldn't take care of her. With the promise that in 6 months I'd be clean, and I would have her back. I didn't do it. I became getting worse. My addiction took over everything. I turned my back on my kids. I turned my back on my family. My mother was diagnosed with cancer. I didn't know it. Our local policeman came and found me one day. When normally I would have turned and run the other way. I didn't. I walked up to him and he gave me a number. And he said, "Your mother is very sick. You need to call her." And I did. She told me she was dying. And I said, "Mother, I'm going to get clean for you. And I'm going to be clean." And I didn't do it. My mother passed away 6 weeks later. Knowing that her daughter was a drug addict and wondering what she had done wrong. every intention of getting clean. I would try a week, 2 weeks here and there, but I couldn't overcome it. My brother was the only family I had left, and I broke his heart, and I turned my back on him when he needed me the most. And after all this, I was hopeless. After 10 years of drug addiction, I was so hopeless, I was so lost. I didn't know what to do. Every time I would get high, near the end of my addiction, I would have this compulsion to read the Bible. And I would read and I would pray. And I would ask God to just take me. I couldn't do it anymore. God, just take me. I'll never be anything else than a junkie. February 14th of 2012, 3 o'clock in the morning, with a loaded gun in one corner, and me in my house, knowing I couldn't go on anymore. Knowing if I stayed one more night, it would be over. I would end it all. But I knew there was a God. I knew there was a God that no matter what I had done, He loved me and He wanted me. I made a phone call. I don't even know how I knew, but I had found out that my mother had put aside some funds if I ever wanted to get clean. To call her husband and he would help me. I called him. He didn't want to. He didn't believe me when I said I was done, but he came and got me. I moved in with his mother, and I lived in a back bedroom with all the guilt and the shame, with all the heartache for 10 years I had caused, not knowing if I could still live with it clean or not. I started praying to God. I started reading the Bible. A week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. I couldn't feel anything from God. And I just knew that I'd gone too far. That there was no redeeming me. But I continued praying. A year and a month later, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was in my bedroom. The TV was on. Tamala Man came out and started singing "Take Me to the King." And I rewound it over and over. And I just looked up to the heavens and I raised my arms. I said, God, I have nothing. I have nothing to give. I'm broken. I need you. And the presence of God came into that room. And I started speaking in tongues. And I was refilled with hope. And I was filled with hope. I started writing my brother letters. I knew he would not open them, but I knew he would see my name and he would think about me. I started fasting every Tuesday and just having focused prayer about, please open my brother's heart to me again. About a month before Christmas, in 2013, Jessica called me and she said, Lanny said we can give you your Christmas present early. And I said, okay. And she said, we're going to come get you. Pack your stuff. You're coming to live with us. They showed up the day after Christmas. My brother, whom I hadn't spoken to in years and years and years, put my stuff up in his car and brought me to live with him. He said he couldn't sleep at night anymore. And God was just telling him, give her a chance, give her a chance, one more chance. And I'm here now only by the grace of God. In February of next year, I'll be clean 4 years. And every day of that is a miracle. God saves lives. That God loves you no matter what you've done, where you've been. If He can save me and change my life, He can change anybody. Every day that I wake up is a miracle. And I just want everybody to know that it doesn't matter what you've done. God loves you. And He wants to save you. Thank you.